paintball is just more profitable than airsoft.
Don't tell him that part. Don't tell him that.
But half the field is going to be Zulu paintball division, and the rest is going to be airsoft. Look, it's either that or everything shuts down.
Do we have to bleep that?
I don't think so. I mean, no.
This is America. We can talk about the British.
Yeah, the Queen's dead, dude.
Beans on toast.
We only cared about the Queen.
You're weird.
Dan's all about
All
this.
right.
Dan wants all the
Dan's
smoke.
violent
Dan's
today.
got dead.
Listen.
Simply existing.
Listen to me, and you know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you. If you're gonna argue with me about me putting blue bands on you because it doesn't match,
Like, he has had that carry handle upper build for a while.
no one wants it.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. Are you okay, sweetie?
Eugene Stoner did it right the first time, okay? He did it right the first time. We don't need forward assists, okay?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Zulu 24 podcast. As always, I'm joined by Anthony from Antec Chairsoft Studios, Jordan from Zulu Outdoor. Today, we have a special guest, Dan the Man. He's been helping us out with Renovations. He's also one of our staff here once we open back up in 100 years when we're done. Also, the snack bar, they sell snacks. What's going on, everybody? How are you on this lovely day?
I want to play airsoft.
Dan wants to play Airsoft. Jordan, you just got back from Iceland.
I did. I'm sorry I was not here for the renovations, but I had a 10-day vacation.
You weren't here for the arduous, fucking
The beginning.
life-ending, monotonous tear down and cleanup.
I'm getting like Snapchats and texts of like, look what we're doing. And I'm like on the side of a volcano, sitting on a black sand beach, like hanging out, having fun. And I'm just like, yeah, sorry guys. Poor timing.
Dan was there through the thick of it.
It sucked. It wasn't fun.
It was awful.
Yeah, Dan, you're a real one. I gotta say, you've grown on me a lot.
It was
We
like
love Dan.
You know, it was like picking up individual grains of sand on a beach.
I did that.
Like
With drunk goggles on.
Yeah. Like eventually you will pick up every grain of sand, right? Eventually. But when you look ahead at the sand you still have to pick up, it's so daunting. You're like, fuck, man.
And then every grain of sand cuts you. When you pick it up, it just...
Yeah. It stabs you. You step on other grains of sand and they go through your shoe.
Yep.
The players are going to be so confused by this because we're still not ready to talk about it.
It's all right.
Dan watched me step on a grain of sand and walked over and he's like, you good? I was like, I'm good. I wore like my thinnest, most worn out Vans that day.
Oh, dude, you should see mine. Hold on. I'm wearing these as like a badge of honor. Like when everything is all said and done, I'm going to like shadow box these things.
Your mechanic gloves look like they've seen like 3 deployments.
Yeah, those are like normal Vans. Those aren't like the outdoorsy Vans with thick soles.
No.
Yeah.
They're so comfortable though. My mechanic's gloves at the beginning, because we started Sunday night after open play, were fine. They were just normal gloves. And now they look like, I don't know what they look like. They're just
Tattered.
Just like every single the tip of every single finger's gone. They're smooth. As opposed to increasing grip, they decrease grip. Like they're so polished down from just handling shit that they're not even worth wearing. They don't protect my hand. Like every night, I had at least 5 splinters.
Yeah.
And it sucked. So you missed that part.
Yes, I did.
And you got back just in time for like
The fun part.
the rebuilding part.
Yeah.
So anyway, how was Iceland?
That was
Fucking
fantastic.
asshole.
To be fair, we did plan this vacation over a year ago. It just so happened that it was the worst timing in the world. We didn't know this was happening a year ago in terms of what was going on at Zulu. But no, Iceland is a fantastic country. I loved every second of it. We already started booking our return trip. We're going to go back next year during the summer.
Do you feel like you already saw everything though?
Nope, not even close.
Okay.
We thought we did. Like we thought going into it, because we did it meticulously, because one of the gripes I have with traveling is not getting to see enough. So, for example, in Iceland, their capital is a city called Reykjavik. It's about the size of Las Vegas. It's the southwest coast. but it's the only major city in the country. And by major, I mean something that has more than 200,000 people living in it. But there were people there that they would book a tour for a day. They would get on a bus at 6 o'clock in the morning, drive 3 or 4 hours, go do one activity, get back on that bus, drive all the way back to the city, go to their hotel and sleep. So you get one activity followed by a shit ton of driving. So the way that we wanted to do this trip was 5 different Airbnbs around the country, rent a car so you could spend 2 or 3 days in each region, as opposed to basically just staging out of the city and traveling outward and only doing one thing a day. So in return, we got to do like 3 or 4 hikes a day, go see a bunch of waterfalls, go take a tour somewhere, but you were driving yourself from spot to spot. We did like 1,800 kilometers of driving in 10 days.
Nobody knows what that means. What is,
Hold on, I'll pull up the metrics.
yeah. He goes to Iceland for 10 days and all of a sudden he's
everything was
metricked out.
Everything was in kilometers.
Like 9 miles.
No. It's like
Stupid.
2.54 kilometers to a mile or something
Metric
like that.
Jordan isn't real. He can't hurt you. Metric Jordan.
1,800 kilometers is about 1,100 miles.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, we did about 1,100 miles of driving in 10
That's
days.
off.
Wow. That sounds terrible, to be honest with you.
Honestly, not that bad because that country at every moment in time is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like you could look on, to be fair, like I was telling you guys before, their largest road there is about the size of 300 in Newburgh. So
Nice.
yeah, that's like their highway. So you can just look left or right and all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's a 200-foot waterfall. Like, oh, there's like sweeping mountain views. Like there's no snow down here, but that mountain right next to you is covered in snow. Like views like that, absolutely insane. However, that country at every moment in time is trying to kill you. There's like 19 or something active volcanoes expected to go off in the next 200 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Keeps you on your toes, you know?
Yeah. Especially when you find out that lava tunnels itself into the ground when it's flowing on the surface, hardens over the top. And the only way they find these tunnels, because they take up to 500 years to cool, is by you accidentally stepping on them and falling into it. Because the ground is still soft in some spots and you fall through it and land in a lava tunnel.
I wonder if they named that lava tunnel after the person that fell in.
I don't know about that, but they did kind of ruin the movie magic because like you would ask me prior, like, oh, if you fell in lava, would it just like burn off your foot and like cauterize the wound? Turns out lava is 50 times more dense than water. So you would actually just stand on it and burn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Terminator 2 is a lie.
So
Yeah, Terminator, Star Wars, they literally looked and they're like, yeah, sorry, Hollywood didn't get it right. You don't sink in the lava. You actually stand on it for a couple seconds and have time to get off of it. Most people that fall in lava
So as
actually
you're
survive.
standing on it, the immense heat will basically ignite whatever you're wearing on your
Correct.
feet and legs and then your foot.
Yes.
Now, have people survived that?
Yes.
Are there a bunch of people in wheelchairs in Iceland?
I didn't see that, but we had 2 different tour experiences that involved lava. One being it's called the Lava Show. It's the only place in the world you can go see active lava up close. And the other one actually exploring one of the tunnels that lava flowed through. Our guide on that tour was like, we know of about 1,200 of them. We think there's 4,000.
So the lava is like actively burrowing tunnels
Yeah.
in the
So
ground. So how long will Iceland be habitable?
as it stands, it's pretty good. They don't know, like there's one super volcano and Iceland's really proud of whenever like one of the bigger volcanoes goes off, it usually shuts down the airspace over Europe. Like they're super proud of that. They're just like, yeah, we close Europe down. But as long as it doesn't destroy major areas, they're going to keep living there. The one that's expected to go off in the next, like, could be today, could be 3 years from now, is right next to the major international airport. That could be bad.
Yeah.
That could be bad. But no, they'll keep living there as long as they can. They did explain there's the North Atlantic, like tectonic plate. The ridge is right underneath Iceland. So at any point in time, any of those volcanoes could go off and you don't know what it's going to be like. They classify them as like potentially dangerous and tourist volcano eruptions, because like the nice ones that aren't super violent, they call them the tourist eruptions, and then the ones that could be catastrophic and kill a fuck ton of people, those are the big ones.
Fancy.
Yeah.
See, that's worse than like owning a home in Florida
With
that
a-
always gets
yeah.
hit by a hurricane, and instead of just like moving because like, gee, I'm gonna get hit by another hurricane,
So I met
You
someone
just-
like that there.
you just use insurance, just put another house right there so you can get hit by another hurricane.
So funny story. The first day we were there, Keflavik International is on a peninsula. And we were like, let's just drive around the peninsula. We can't get into our Airbnb till about 3 o'clock. Like 11 a.m., I was getting tired, like needed a coffee. Jet lag was starting to set in. The closest town was this place called Grindavik. And we're like, oh, there's 2 gas stations. But shit, Google Maps says they're closed permanently. And we're like, okay, what about a restaurant? Temporarily closed. Like everything on Google Maps just closed. But the town is still there. And we're like, there's one place that sells crepes. And it says it's open and they have coffee. Let's go there. Like not a single person in this town, like tumbleweeds basically. But the crepe place was open. So we go in and it's about the size of the shop, but only utilizing the back corner. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And it's just one woman making crepes. Get a coffee, get a Red Bull, get some food, continue our drive. Go hike a volcano that's right next to it. It went off like 3 or 4 years ago. Now thinking about it, lava tunnels take about 50 to 100 years to cool down on average. That was probably a terrible fucking idea because it went off 3 years ago. Could have almost died. We were talking to our tour guide later that night because we went on like a midnight Northern Lights like hunting expedition where they drive you around trying to find them. Turns out not that easy to find. And we told him, yeah, we went to Grindavik. And he looked at us like we were insane because it turned out the Icelandic government came in about a year or 2 ago and mandatory evacuated everyone and like paid them off to move. There should be no one there.
So like, is
Not the crepe lady.
But not the crepe lady. She's the epitome of I'm going to stay and
when you're hiking
rebuild.
around there,
Yeah.
right? Because like it should be a cold area, but you have the heat from the ground. Is it like does the air that you're existing in feel kind of warm?
No, it
Or
just
is
feels humid.
Or is it like cold and then like you feel the warmth in the floor under your feet as you're walking?
Neither. It's just humid. So like I have a couple photos I can find. You see the geothermal activity coming out of the ground and it just connects to the cloud and makes the clouds bigger. Like cloud cover there is super low hanging, like at some points only 500 feet off the ground. You'd think it's fog, but it's actually a cloud caused by geothermal activity. But because of that, be like 34 degrees, but 95% humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like damp coldness, but also 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Who lives there? Like who?
About 390,000 people.
Yeah, dude. Like
Really?
Yeah.
Like who got to that island and was just like, yep,
This is it.
this is it.
This is it.
Like I feel like they just thought that the earth ended and there was nothing more. So like, we might as well just stay here.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much further north than that. The only thing further north is Antarctica and technically Greenland. But Greenland's off to the west.
They're just gatekeepers of the firmament at the edge of the flat earth.
Yeah. Like they're just
I'll tell you what, Iceland's not very fucking flat.
No?
No, it's all mountains. Yeah, but it's like the weird kind of mountains where like here we have like, valleys.
Well, it makes
and
sense.
hills.
There's a lot of mountains. So there's a lot of volcanoes.
Yeah, this is like, it looks really flat when you're on the road and then you just look over and out of nowhere, there's a mountain that goes up for about 1,500, maybe 2,000 feet. Then it's flat on the other side of it. It's really weird. Like, it's not like it is around here where it's like, how would I describe that? Like mountain ranges? No, there's just random fucking mountains all over the place.
I gotta say, you looked happier than a pig in shit.
Oh, it was so good.
Every picture you posted, I was like, Jordan's having a good time. I'm happy for him. I tried not to bother you, but like you kept putting the location of all the places you were at, and I could
Yes.
not read them. So like wherever you were at, I just messaged you like a response to the story. I was like, I love Fagradalsfjall.
Yeah.
I love that place. Fucking love it. But you got to take pictures like the Northern Lights.
Yeah. We saw the Northern Lights twice. First was with that tour guide. And then the second time we were staying all the way up north, like basically on the edge of the Arctic Circle. And there's an app you can use that it tracks solar flares. So the Northern Lights are caused by basically energy being emitted by the sun and then it hitting the magnetic poles. Like this gets really sciencey, but they look pretty. So I walked outside because we were standing next to one of the apparently most popular mountains to go to in the country. It looks like every other mountain. I was like, I'll take a couple low light photos. And I see a hole in the clouds and it's just like semi-green. I'm like, that's weird. Let me go inside, show my girlfriend. And she just did the typical like, oh, that's really nice, babe. Like, cool photo. I'm like, yeah, but what's that green spot? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, hey, Aurora, what's green in the sky at night in Iceland? And she just looks at me and goes,
Aliens.
that's not the Northern Lights. And I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. And I walk outside, turn the camera 90 degrees, take another spot of another hole in the clouds. bright fucking green. I walked back inside, mind you, I was wearing shorts. I was like putting my snow pants on, going like, yeah, I'm gonna be outside for about an hour. You should probably come outside. Right as that happened, the clouds just like broke vertically and you see the northern light shine through. I'm like, that looks like fucking aliens. Okay, let's take some photos.
Did you make the joke? You did.
Yeah, I did.
Jordan's girlfriend's name is Aurora.
Yeah.
So the obvious joke is Aurora. Come outside and look at the Aurora.
Yeah. But yeah, that actually apparently not a lot of people with that name go visit there because every time she booked something, they'd be like, "Oh, what's the name under?" She's like, "Oh, Aurora," and they just look and they're like, "Is that a joke?" And she like pulls out her driver's license.
You're funny?
Yeah, like you think you're funny. She like pull out her driver's license and they're like, "Oh my god, your name is Aurora. That's really funny." Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sick.
It's okay.
I saw, dude. Okay, not to break
No, it's fine.
topic real quick, but I watched this short, and it was a bunch of different people whose names were James Bond,
Oh.
and they were going over their interactions with police.
Oh my God, I have seen this.
Dude, every single time they're like, "Oh yeah, your name's James Bond. Step out of the car, sir." Like, I swear to you, my name is James Bond. Get on the ground. Oh, you want to be funny?
Dude, the getting into the country, you have to go through like their equivalent at TSA. They grilled me because I don't know why I showed up with a big camera case. I had to do paperwork to bring my cameras into the country.
Clearly bombs.
No, once you hit a certain dollar amount, you have to declare that item and then explain when you're going to import them and when you're going to export them.
Did it have to do with the NDA they made you sign to not talk about the firmament,
No.
flat Earth?
Yeah. But Aurora goes up right after I do. And the woman looks and she's just like, sees the name on the passport and starts flipping through it, trying to see if it's fake because obviously someone named Aurora coming to Iceland is just too suspect.
You think you're funny, huh? You think this is the first time we've seen this?
Yeah, it was like they grilled me about camera equipment. They grilled you about your name. That's pretty funny.
Do people like illegally migrate to Iceland?
I don't know. Maybe.
No, zero chance. 50-mile-an-hour winds, 96% humidity, 30 degrees, volcanoes that can kill you. A road, the largest road is our smallest road. Yeah, nobody's like, the land of milk and honey.
Also, keep in
Nobody's
mind,
fucking going
in
there.
What if they
in the
do?
winter, they at like peak winter, like the winter solstice, they get 23 hours of darkness. And at the peak of the summertime, when it's like we get like 14 hours of sun here, they get 23 hours of sun there.
I think they're actually probably just so efficient at deporting people that it doesn't seem like a problem. They're called Iceland.
I don't know. They had 5 cops. That's what I
Ice.
saw. I get it. Yeah. I get your joke. I only saw 5 cops while I was there.
You're so proud of yourself.
I'm so proud of myself.
You're so proud of yourself.
I came up with a really good dad joke all by myself at in my kitchen one night, and I told my wife, and she didn't immediately get it.
What was the joke?
All right, so what does the British royal family and flour have in common? And it's not that they're white.
What?
Go on.
They're both inbred.
Oh.
I think the delivery should have been they're both inbred. And then, yeah, but...
Do we have to bleep that?
I don't think so. I mean, no.
This is America. We can talk shit about the British.
Yeah, the Queen's dead, dude.
Beans on toast.
We only cared about the Queen.
That's a fact, though.
That is true.
The British royal family did a lot of inbreeding back in the day.
Sure.
Is that just practicing eugenics?
No.
Technically, yeah.
It didn't make him better.
It did not make them better.
Didn't make him better.
Yeah.
They still think that beans on toast is good.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with beans on toast.
You're right.
What?
There's
You're
nothing wrong with beans on toast. I don't understand this.
No, you're right. You're right. There's nothing wrong, except that it tastes like shit.
No, it doesn't. There's nothing wrong with it. No.
When your whole country revolves around fighting over spices and shit, and you refuse to use any of them on your foods.
Didn't we involve ourselves in a war in Syria based on salt and rice?
So what?
Yeah, but salt
Guess
is
what we
good and
have?
rice is delicious.
Yeah, guess what we have? Salt and rice.
We're a
We also have
salty
oil
country.
and gold.
You know, you keep what you kill, you know, Riddick.
We just started bullying the fuck out of Dan.
No, I'm actually curious. So What's wrong? Hold on. What is your affinity to toast and beans?
I just like the way it tastes, man. I don't like.
What kind of beans?
Are you British? Are you
No,
a British spy?
not even
Like
not even a
refried
little bit.
beans, bread,
Black beans,
like, yeah, like the
pinto
fucking-
beans.
or just
Ew,
beans?
no, that's fucking gross.
Like solid
Fucking,
beans. It's falling off the bread as you're trying to eat it, like that.
Can you make that noise again?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're trying to eat the like you left the bread in the toaster for a little bit after it was done, so it got really like hard and crunchy. So like you try to take a bite out of it and it just like crumbles apart and the beans fall on the table and it gets on your hands and you're like, oh, like that kind of. Like
Do you put butter on the toast before?
I think you're overthinking this.
I am because I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find
Toast.
I'm trying to find the silver lining.
Beans.
Yeah. Okay.
What kind of beans?
Fucking I don't know, the brown shit.
Like Bush's baked beans?
Yeah.
Don't they put honey in their beans? So that might be a factor.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that like what you have with barbecue?
Yeah.
Am I thinking of something completely
No,
different?
you're in
No,
you're
no,
in the you're in the ballpark.
It's like
beans on toast.
but with some high fructose corn syrup.
High fructose corn syrup. Okay.
The funny part is I tried Icelandic beans on toast. There's no beans involved.
It's just toast.
No, they use peas and carrots.
Ew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jelly on toast?
Yeah, of course. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
jelly,
ridiculous.
jelly's good. Yeah.
What's the difference between jelly and jam?
God.
Nobody knows, Jordan. Nobody knows.
Marketing.
What about preservatives?
It's true.
Preserve. Sorry, not preserve.
Yeah, no, they mix green peas, carrots, mayonnaise, and then they put sliced lamb on it. And that's their beans on toast.
Yeah, they're really white people over there. Huh?
Dan, what do you like?
Oh my god.
What do you like more, e-girls or eye-ladies?
What are eye ladies?
Eye-ladies, nuts across your face.
Oh man.
Yeah, I walked right into that, huh?
That was my joke.
Got him.
Fucking got him.
We got him.
I can't believe you haven't told him that one yet.
I didn't tell him that
I thought you told everybody.
God.
It's a certified fat free joke.
What a classic. That's a good one.
Beans on
Horrible.
Oh man. So yeah, Jordan got back from his DLC pack. He got to do the Iceland DLC.
Yeah.
He got some unique items that he was able to bring back to the main game and share with us, like snacks. And
You have Icelandic snacks? Icelandic?
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I brought back. I smuggled back a bunch of snacks in my check bag, like Icelandic rye bread and yogurt, Capri Suns, because those are different.
Is that the bread they bury in the sand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I found out a way to make it in the United States. You just have to cook it in your oven for 12 hours.
Oh, that sounds efficient.
Yeah, that's not very efficient. They go to geothermal fields and mix everything you need to make the bread in like a big cast iron Dutch oven, put the lid on it, bury it in the sand for 24 hours, and you have rye bread. Yeah.
I'm a rye guy.
It's completely fucking different than American rye bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will have to bring some for you to try. I still have like half the loaf left. I meant to bring it today.
What's different about it?
So Dylan tried it yesterday.
Because rye bread has a certain texture to it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Different texture. He described it as if you made cornbread texture with rye bread ingredients.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's like a cake.
It's like a cake. It's slightly sweet, has a nutty taste to it.
Would you put BLT on it?
No, it's too brittle for that.
That's one of my go-tos. BLT on rye.
Yeah, it's too brittle for that. They serve it with either butter or cream cheese on it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They
Or
do-
beans.
No, their beans go on white bread still.
Yeah, no.
They do a lot of weird stuff with food there.
You'd have to. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to experiment with that. You have to find joy in that joyless environment.
No, it's a very joyful environment.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
so here's a question, right? Whenever we get an opportunity to take a break from Airsoft
Yes.
and like take some time away from it, because we do it every day, we like to just like we go into it like, okay, we need a break from Airsoft. We're gonna enjoy ourselves and come back to it.
Yep.
Right. Be honest. How many times did you talk about Airsoft on this trip?
Oh God, fucking zero.
Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Besides like the getting Snapchats from like Dylan and Hunter of what was going on here and being like, oh, that looks cool. Look what they're doing. And then just like put it down. Yeah. Fucking zero.
Yeah.
Even talking to people in Iceland, I didn't bring up Airsoft. They don't know what it is. It's illegal there.
Of course it is.
Yeah, you're not like their firearms laws are super restrictive. Turns out you can have a gun there. It just has to be a pump action shotgun or a bolt action rifle.
It's all you need. It's all you need.
They have a paintball field there, but it costs about $100 an hour American to play there.
An hour?
An hour
To do what?
to play paintball. And you have to come with a group of your own. Like, you have to show up with a minimum of 6 people.
Is it like no one's ever been on that?
I have no
It's
idea.
it's always.
I remember
It's a front for something else, clearly.
potentially. We looked it up over the summer because just out of curiosity, I was like, is there airsoft in Iceland? And we looked into it, and I found the one paintball field. That was about it. Didn't go any further when I saw the price. I was like, that's silly.
I can't imagine a lot of people like booking their trip to Iceland
And being like, let's
and
go.
be like, let's play paintball.
Yeah, no.
I can't see that.
There's-
And I mean, the people that live there are too busy trying to survive. So they're like, go outside where it's trying to kill me and lava tubes and fuck. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, there's
Wow.
plus there's plenty of other fun stuff to do. Like, we hiked the largest ice glacier in Europe, which also happens to be the tallest point in the country, which is right next to, like, you get off the ice glacier, walk down to the very edge of it, and you're on a black sand beach where all of the ice that comes off the ice glacier flows down into the water and goes in the Atlantic Ocean. It's super pretty. It's more of a nature expedition. It's a fun trip for that.
You're pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're cute.
oh, stop.
So what you're saying is you walked up a steep incline for multiple hours at a time and called that a vacation.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah.
All right.
That's
We-
very derivative, but yeah.
Yeah.
We can do that here.
We did over 25 hikes while we were in the country.
Oh God.
We have hiking at home.
It's true, but it's not the same.
Points to mud out there.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, Dan, you have a valid fucking point.
No. Well, Dan, you have a t-shirt company.
Does he?
Yes, he
It's
does.
a podcast.
See,
You have
that's
to-
the problem.
You have to talk. You can't
Yeah, you
just
have to
wait.
talk.
Yeah, I have this this website that I sell these sweatshirts on that no one's bought any sweatshirts on.
That's all right. Maybe
sweatshirt
that'll
you're wearing?
change. What's the name of the company? What's your brand?
He's not even wearing his own merch.
No.
Yeah, what the hell?
I should be, huh? No, I'm wearing your merch, you know?
See, that's where you're going wrong.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Simply Existing is
Jeez
the name of
Louise.
this website that you should go by.
Does Simply Existing want to sponsor the Zulu 24 podcast?
Sure, if you would like to purchase one $3 sticker, I will woefully give you 50% of my business income for marketing.
I think I know where you're going wrong.
I love this.
So we were,
You got to be excited about your own brand, dude.
I was for the first 3 weeks.
No,
and
it
then I
works
was
with the
like,
name
wow.
though. I'm just simply existing.
So
Just
It's genius.
fine. Just whatever. Take half my income.
He just sells white T-shirts.
Yeah, just simply
no
existing.
logos, just white T-shirts. Oh wait, it's a special. We have black T-shirts this week.
No, it's white T-shirt with white font. That's simply existing.
Yeah, dude, that's the new Supreme, dude.
Yeah.
So-
Are you kidding me?
a couple weeks ago, Dan and I were working with an individual who specializes in marketing.
I had a funny idea.
And Dan looks at him, and we can't say his name. He's like, oh, you're like the marketing guy, the media guy. He goes, yeah, I got a bit of experience doing that. He's like, I got this t-shirt company, and he's like, Simply Existing. And he starts showing me, he's like, oh, this is really cool. Like, how are your sales? And Dan's like, not great. Not
great. Not great.
Well, what kind of marketing do you do? And Dan just looks him in the face and goes,
Marketing? Question
none.
mark.
No, I don't.
And he looks at me, he looks at Dan, he goes, is he joking? I was like, no, he's not. He doesn't do any marketing. He's like, there's your fucking problem.
What do you sell on?
Shopify.
Shopify?
Yeah.
How many? Like what do you like? Are they graphic tees? Or are they? Like,
T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers. He's got everything on there.
yeah.
It's got a full line of products, Anthony.
And it's just Simply Existing.
I'm gonna look you up.
No, it's Dave's.
It's fine.
So is mine. Look at that. Inception.
Well, maybe that's a good segue for
the
a
credit
break.
company.
That
Trying
is
to
a good
steal my
segue for a
money.
break, yeah.
I was like, you know what?
No.
Oh my God, I have an idea.
Keep going,
Dan, do you have one of your own shirts?
Do you buy the shirts and like print them yourself and then sell them, or is it like drop ship?
It's like drop ship. Do you have one of your own shirts?
Hold on.
No. Well, I'm talking. This is a fun product photo idea.
Maybe.
When it's not raining and slippery as shit, and we're putting a thing on top of a thing over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And something has to be unhooked from said thing. Dan's up there just like mean mugging the camera, simply existing.
Yeah.
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 You're the perfect spokesperson for your brand, dude.
I like the simply existing metallic
Yeah,
mug.
you are.
Look at the metallic mug.
You are simply existing. That's fucking awesome, dude. I think you should. I think you should do some marketing. God damn it! Jesus Christ. Well, here we go. All right, so everybody listening right now, go
Buy a hoodie.
Go find simply existing.
Good luck. Go through my Instagram and then give me
No, I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the
It's
description.
simply-existing.shop.
There you go. Also, I always forget that we have merch too. Also, go buy some Zulu merch. It's fun.
Also on simply existing
I wore a lot
shop, go to the contact page and send a long, strongly worded email
Don't do
to
that.
Dan.
Don't do that. I won't read it.
Yes, you will.
I wore a
Your
lot
anxiety won't let you not read it.
Well, I get about 500 spam emails from that fucking shit a day, so it's like I probably won't see your email. Just saying.
Hello, kind sir. Would you like to help with
Exactly.
your brand?
Yeah.
We make patches.
Yeah.
We make high quality PVC patches, USA, China, #1.
Yeah, hot dog.
God.
What?
Have you received the free pen in the mail that has like
Nope.
Your
I think you have to
business-
make money first. For that.
did you like form an LLC? No? So once you form an LLC, you will get a bunch of like promotional free sample merch sent to you. You'll get a pen with like your name and the wrong address. Like there's always some typo on it.
Yeah.
I have like 3 of them and they're all different.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna buy a hoodie right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start it off. Well, I'll do it when
Well,
we take a break. So anyway, Iceland cool. Simply existing is cool. Dan, you need to work on your marketing. I don't do a podcast. I'll tell you that. It doesn't work well.
I'd say the podcast works. People actually watch.
so the podcast is working now. It was not working well in the beginning.
You also have an
it never works in the
airsoft
beginning.
field attached to it, so it's a little different. You're not
Yeah.
just
Well,
starting a podcast.
No, because I said in the beginning, one of the biggest parts about having a podcast is consistency. So when we were doing like 1,
A month.
2,
Yeah, 1 a month.
3, and then we'd take 3 months off.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Now that we're doing them weekly, players are getting more involved with it. The comments are going up.
I
Well,
dig
like
it.
nobody showed up to the field this weekend, so they knew that it was closed for
Like
renovations.
2 people showed up.
Yeah, but they didn't come thinking the field was open.
Yeah.
No, they did.
A couple did, but literally I expected 10, 15, 20 cars a day
Yeah.
for us to be turning around. And that wasn't the case.
What was the first weekend like? That first weekend that it was closed down.
I don't think, maybe 1 or 2.
Really?
Like, yeah, nothing
That
crazy.
first Saturday, there wasn't like 15 people here.
No,
I'm surprised.
no.
I mean, compared to the normal turnout,
I get a lot of phone
I
calls.
think a majority of the player base like actually sees the stuff you're posting.
Yeah, well, it probably didn't help that I fucked off for 2 weeks as soon as this started. So I wasn't resharing and posting stuff saying like, hey guys, reminder we're closed. I got to start doing that this week.
Yep.
During the-
Despite that, not a lot
during
of
the
people-
arduous part.
Yeah, sorry, Dave.
God, there was so I equate the last 10 days, 12 days, 15 days, whatever it's been, to one other time in my life. And one other time in my life outside of the military, right? And it's when we moved Zulu from its previous location to here. And we were only closed for 1 weekend. And we had to clean up the old field and build the new field all in this fucking time frame. And I swear I lost years off my life. Mario's a machine, and we were working 12-hour days in both places somehow. Poor Nick and Sean were like dragged along for the ride. And I just remember thinking like, oh my God, this is like, it's an impossible task, but it's like a journey of 1,000 miles, right? It starts with a single step. So you're taking these single steps and single steps and single steps. And you're just like, how many steps? That's what it felt like. That beginning felt like that. It was just like this monumental fucking task.
Every time you turned around, it seemed like the pile would get bigger and bigger and bigger. It was just, and then every time you knocked, it was like, there's 6 hours more of work. There's another 4 hours of work. Like,
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun bleep.
Easter.
Well,
eggs.
Oh,
but it was also,
sorry.
it's all right. Don't worry about it.
No, I'll fix that.
But it was like you had to pay attention. You couldn't look ahead of you. You had to pay attention to what was happening right at your feet. And you would do the task, move on to the next one. Do the task, move on to the next one. And it was like while you were doing that, you're only paying attention to the 6 inches in front of your feet. And but at the end of the day, you would look up and be like, oh,
Yeah.
that was like a sizable chunk. It was a shitty day. It fucking blew ass. But we got a sizable chunk done. And so you're like, all right. So it wasn't until the end of the day where you were like, oh, man,
Well, it was
we
like
actually did something.
you guys started, like we closed Sunday at 4:00 and you guys started.
Oh, yeah.
And I had something I had to go take care of. So I didn't start helping until that Monday morning, and I really didn't have a whole lot of time because I was leaving for Iceland that day. I walk up on the field Monday morning, and I'm just like, "Oh, that was fast!"
Oh, yeah, we went
You
so-
guys got a fuck ton done Sunday night. Oh my god!
Tearing down buildings is a lot easier than.
People keep asking like me what's going on with the field.
Fucking nothing.
I have some pre-saved false answers that are hilarious.
Oh my
And,
god! Some of those are so funny.
So I've been telling people either
Shout out, Mitch.
Yeah.
I'll tell them either Dave is forming an orc army so that he could take over Middle Earth, and orcs are wet, violent creatures, and they need a breeding ground to grow up and get trained. The other one is, simply put, paintball is just more profitable than airsoft. We're going to keep the airsoft, but half the field is going to be Zulu paintball division and the rest is going to be airsoft. Look, it's either that or everything shuts down, because like paintball just brings in the money.
Can I use that for the opener as clickbait?
Oh, no. Yeah, of course. We're just going to relegate airsoft to Newtown.
Only.
And then
Only Newtown.
my third one, because airsofters just want the roofs of the mosque fixed. Airsofters want one thing, and it's disgusting.
Can we? I don't understand. Why are they obsessed with the mosque?
I don't know.
You have no idea how many messages I've gotten being like, so
Mosque?
off the record, or like, is that what's happening? Is the mosque roof getting done?
You think we'd be closed for 6 to 8 weeks just to fix 2 roofs?
Moine?
Okay.
We're
okay,
leveling
here-
the mosque and making it a parking lot.
That's the third one.
We're just expanding. There's going to be a Disney World opening up, and we're just going to go full parking lot.
Some of the people I've said
This
that
is the
to,
overflow parking for Legoland.
yeah, dude.
some of the people I've said that one to, they don't get the joke. Like they don't get the geopolitical meme there.
Oh, they think you're serious.
They think they're like the parking lot up there. Like they think the parking lot. It's like, I'm like, we're turning it into a parking lot.
Yeah, we're turning the staging area currently into another CQB field. And then we're moving parking up to the mosque. So you have to drive up the back trail to that. And when you're driving up there, you're in the middle of an airsoft gunfight the whole time. So you have to keep iPro on in your car.
We're re-erecting the
out at
sports
the,
dome to make an indoor field.
Out at the as soon as you turn in, you have to put your iPro on
Yeah, or roll your windows up.
I actually
or
pitched
down.
I pitched the idea that we just like remove the second floor from all the mosque buildings. Just call it a day. Just get rid of the roofs. Don't fix the roofs. Just get rid of them.
Yeah. No.
them
What
one
you do is
story.
you take down the stairwell so there's no roof access. But before you do that, you go and like punch holes through the roof so it looks like it's been like mortar attacked. And then you take the stairs down so players can't go up there and accidentally hurt themselves.
It's a feature.
It's a
not a
It's
flaw.
called Levolution.
It's a war-torn area.
Have you never played
War-torn
Battlefield
by
4?
termites.
We replaced the roof with like gem mats so that when we drop things on it, like foam roof caves in, and that'll be the Levolution. You're in the building, you're like, ah.
And you can go reset that every day at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, right. I will throw this out. We've been very secretive about what we're doing, mostly just because we don't want to create false expectations and shit like that. We are not going to be Guardian Center after this. Like, that's just clear. We are just doing some upgrades. But I will say this. Here's a little tidbit, a little, what's the right word? A tease.
Yeah.
For all you. No. You got to bleep that. that could be taken the wrong way. No. You have to bleep that. No. That's not what I meant.
Don't tell them that part. Don't tell them that part.
Old clip resurfaces of congressional candidates saying,
No.
Gotta bleep that.
Here.
Don't tell them that part.
Why?
Okay.
That's a natural thing. We are fixing the roofs. Like, that's part of the plan. It's actually the guy's supposed to show up today. That's getting fixed. So, applause or whatever in the chat. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, of course it's getting fixed. There you go. So now you can stop bitching about the fucking roofs, man. it's unfortunate that when we built those, we just didn't have the money to use pressure treated lumber, and so it's just a thing. But that's all I'm giving, though.
Yeah, don't tell them anything else.
Yeah, that's it.
Airsofters want one thing, and it's disgusting.
They want a second story.
They just want the mosque so that when there's like a game, so when we're doing Vietnam game, they can just spend the whole game on the mosque. And well, Dan.
Well, Antec.
So you've been running around with your gun with the Bosch unit on it, not firing BBs. You don't even shoot BBs anymore.
BBs are
Yeah.
BBs are a construct that you don't need. It's not necessary. People will call their hits regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call their hits without the BBs.
Yeah, you don't need it.
So that's actually a good point.
Perception is reality.
Perception is reality. Just be really loud.
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully, your gun probably broke.
No.
No?
No. The gun actually works. The gun
Really?
actually works. I don't know.
You just don't want to shoot BBs.
Dude, it's so much more fun. My ideal airsoft gun is an HPA gun with the line cut out of it, and it just fucking makes the solid. I just want to pull the trigger and make the boss unit go off and have nothing happen with the gun. It's not that hard to do.
I wonder if something like that could exist.
It can exist because it does exist. It's just an HPA gun without the fucking line plugged in. So how's the tech business going?
Busy. I'm using the 6 to 8 week period to like just catch up with my queue. I'm still training up Alex. He's doing really fucking good. He's almost done with his Crucible, which is like,
Oh, he's got his next Crucible coming.
Has he pranked you back yet?
oh my God.
No, he just got over that.
No,
He just got over that.
I'll tell you, I feel really bad.
Do we want to tell the Alex story?
Please.
I honestly would rather
it's
not.
The great.
Okay.
It was just the wrong person to do the perfect prank to. You know?
But that means it works so well because he
Well,
took it the way he did.
For context, there is a rule amongst the Zulu staff. We actually have it on a T-shirt for staff. It simply says one phrase: pranks do not end well here, and they really don't. Anthony pranked Alex so badly one time that to this day, Anthony's still worried that Alex is going to get him back.
It wasn't that long ago.
No, this was
it's not
the
even
first
like-
Eastern Front. This was like 3.5 years ago.
It's not even like paranoia. It's like just residual guilt. Like I feel bad. Like,
then
and it
one
wasn't
day-
even that bad. Dave said, "Don't feel bad." But
And
like,
then one day your valve stems are going to be ripped out of your tire, and you're
Yeah.
going to know Alex did it.
Fuses are all going to be missing.
but yeah, to answer your question, Dan, no, Alex is doing good. I'm looking at taking on another trainee. So like the way I'm taking on techs to kind of maintain the quality assurance of the Antec builds is
Dave, you're a busy man this morning.
yeah. Should
A
I
lot of
turn-
moving parts.
Should I turn my beeper off?
Yeah, could you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, man, that beeper, he's like the most fucking paranoid person over there.
So I'll tell you from working here during the week with him, it is nice because like on a Wednesday or a Thursday,
Right.
you expect it's just going to be like him and I here. Like I'll be over here working on something. He'll be in his shop working on something. And all of a sudden you just hear, you're like, okay, on one hand, it could be the garbage truck. It could be the guy
fucking
it could be the
bird
company to, clean the porta johns. But then every now and then it's like random person in New Windsor number 5 that just showed up and is like, oh, what's this place? And you're like, God, this.
Oh, I have a funny story. Alex was here for an NPC interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story. Dave actually saw them too.
Oh, was this the other day?
Yeah.
The guy, yeah.
Okay, so
Let's finish with the question about you
Yeah.
and how the tech.
So the way I'm going about like getting more techs in the shop, the sole purpose of it is to make my lead times quicker. Now when you do tech work, I guess at the level of scrutiny that I do it, it's just inevitably going to take time. Like to me, hearing somebody say I can shim a gearbox in 30 minutes, I don't find that impressive. Sometimes I can. Sometimes it just ends up that way. Like it just runs really like the process goes very smoothly for a particular build and the particular tolerances. I'm not going to talk about tech stuff on the podcast. people leave. To me, it's like, no, I'm going to spend the appropriate amount of time to just do the build the right way. And I have a whole systematic approach to building like AEGs and HPA setups. And to me, it's like there's just a bunch of boxes that have to be checked. If the box is not checked, then there's some variable that's not accounted for. And usually that's something that ends up going wrong for somebody. You know, it's something that will decrease the longevity of the build. And like people spend a lot of money to have me build, you know, their airsoft gun. So like if they're going to spend that money, I think their time and their money is way more valuable than mine. So I'm like, I'm going to do the best damn job possible. When you take on other people though, there has to be incentives for them to do that same level of work. And you can't just like throw them jobs and not really oversee it at all. Because then the customer's not really getting what they came to Antec for, you know? So the way I'm doing it is like, there is like a training portion where really I'm just showing them the SOPs I've made for myself over the years. They have access to all the resources that I have, the tools, parts, so that they can get the job done. I'm always there to help them because I also just want them to learn and just flourish, find whatever their strengths are. You know, like if Alex ends up being really good at turning out Kythera builds efficiently and high success rate, you know, and he's happy doing it, customers are happy with it, then it's like, I'm going to like really have him lean towards that. You know, it's like whatever works. The idea is that my queue gets long and people wait months. But if there's this option to have another tech work on it, I'll determine whoever I train if like they can do the build to like my standard, and the customer is going to be aware of that. So it's not like they're going to Antec and this group of techs is going to work on it. Like I still want them to have that interaction with the tech building it. I want that tech to be able to call them and be like, hey, we hit this point. This part that we thought was going to work is not going to work. What do you want to do about it? Here's our options. You know, here's the more costly option. Here's the, you know, the quicker, maybe not the best option for long term, but like, it's just working with, I always try to work with the customer and see what they want. And now with that, I also like educate the customer as to like what the reality of the piece of equipment that they want built is. You know, if they have an unrealistic expectation about like, I want this part because I heard it's the best, you know, a good example, a maple leaf bucking. They're great buckings, but they don't fit in everything. They don't fit in everything. You can put it in a particular build and it's actually going to make it shoot worse because there's tolerances and airsoft has loose standards, you know?
This is why shooting BBs is stupid.
Yeah. So, you know,
you missed the part where Dan said he wanted a gun that only fired the Boss unit, not BBs.
It's getting the techs basically trained up to that point.
I'm just laughing because this sounds like how you're describing this. It sounds like a lot of like one-on-one interactions with customers.
That's what I do.
Some would argue customer service.
It is customer service.
You and I had a real big fight a couple years ago about the fact that you're not in customer service.
Well, the thing is, it's when I have a queue of people that have paid already, have some investment in their build and they're waiting months, they kind of take highest priority. Like whoever's number one in queue right now has been waiting the longest.
Yeah.
You know, why should I, like, how would that customer feel about the service he's getting that he's already invested into? Yeah. If I stop whatever I'm doing at everybody else's whim, all of a sudden their time and money is more important than his. And it's hard to value that. And it's really difficult to manage that as one person. Yeah. So having multiple people, even somebody that could be there for on-site work, do Dean connector installs for little Timmy or whatever. That's the direction I have to go. So by hiring other techs as subcontractors, I'm not going to put myself into bankruptcy by just paying somebody to show up and potentially do nothing. Like they have to be good. Yeah. You know, they have to be good at what they do. And it's very rewarding if they're good at what they do. And eventually people will come to Antec just to have like Alex work on their build because they really liked working with him. They're going to be paying the same amount for labor. It's just as them being subcontractors, the subcontractor will get a percentage of whatever that labor rate is. And with that said, Antec charges its hourly rate. I do not make that hourly rate. I make like minimum wage. When you tally all the work I actually do versus the monthly allowance I give myself, like I'm a minimum wage worker. So the subcontracted techs will be making way more than me. So that should serve as some pretty good incentivization for them to continue to do a good job. So I'm training up techs. I'm looking at starting a print farm, getting more printers, really ramping up the development and production of like my own parts, as well as potentially being a print farm for other companies that want somebody to just make it in the US, know what it is that they're printing instead of some stranger on PCB way that will just make exactly what you send them. And just work with people to help them develop their products and do that. So that's where Antec is at. And that means I'm probably building something next to the shop to replace my shed, and it's a lot of money, and I'm scared. But that means it's a good thing to do if it's scary. So
That's true. Very true.
So that's where Antec's at. I've been cleaning the shop a lot, getting a lot of unnecessary things out of there because, like Dave says, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. I
don't say that.
You do. You do.
No, I
Not
said
those words.
You go in the shop and you're like, what's this up here? Do you need that? If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense.
Not even. Oh, God.
You need those empty gun boxes up there? Huh? What?
I definitely say that, but more just to fuck with you.
Yeah, I know. You're my biggest heckler, and I actually appreciate it because it's good. Like, I need to be checked. Well,
it's because you're hyper autistic.
Well, also techs just have a tendency to like get really egotistical. And
You never.
I'm saying techs in general do. And my person, like my temperament is very prone to that too. So like ever since adolescence, I've been like trying to like combat my natural proclivity to like have an air of arrogance about me because like I don't agree with it, but like it's just I'm disagreeable that way. As far as the customer service thing you're talking about,
I just had to point that out because it made me chuckle. I was like, Anthony and I got into a big tiff like 2 years ago about the fact that he is not in the customer service industry.
I have said that.
Yeah.
It was over a particular thing,
But I'm real glad that you came around and understood that.
well, yeah, I mean, I can admit when I'm wrong, you know.
I appreciate that about it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like, I mean, I will say that the type of customer service you need to do running retail is different than like a tech.
No, but it was customer service is a blanket term.
Like I have to be a bad news bearer a lot,
Yes.
you know, and I end up helping people out when they inquire about a build in ways that usually hardly ever involve them giving me any money. I end up just doing free consults for people and just giving free advice.
It's also a distinct difference in what we're gearing towards. Because like you and I have argued about this all the time. If you had your way, and this is not exactly it, it's just like blanket statementing it, everyone would be getting a VFC and doing a full build or a Kythera build because that's the best option. Like we know that 100%.
Well, it's not the best option. It's one of my favorite options. It's
right.
It's one of the best options
because it's a very good blank canvas. You can do a lot with a VFC.
Right.
Not every player wants that.
Right.
A lot of players, where especially in the current economy, they want to come in, buy a gun where it's going to do good, not amazing. It's going to last them a year, maybe 2 years. They don't want it to shoot the farthest. They don't want it to shoot the fastest. They just want it to work. That's not always a VFC because we've made that joke. Like some VFCs, they last a day, some last a year.
Yeah.
There's other options like the the G&Gs and the Specna arms where are they the best guns in the world? Not all the time when it comes to what you want to do versus that customer that walks in that goes, I have a $300 budget. What can I get that's going to let me play on the field and have a good time? There's a distinct difference there.
Right. It's like going to a restaurant and wanting them to bake a custom cake for you.
Right.
You know, it's like, yeah, they could do that, but like, that's really not what they offer.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
It's taking a Honda Civic to a Ferrari dealership and being like,
yeah, people that come to me that just want a quick repair on like a classic Army SCAR they got off eBay that's not working all of a sudden.
Right.
This is a beginner airsofter, and like, you know, tech work is not cheap. Even if it's, I mean, sometimes the cheaper the gun, the more expensive it is because it takes a lot of time to polish a turd. And that's just the truth.
No, I will co-sign that. That is completely
I mean,
true.
you fix rentals, right?
Yeah.
Like you can spend way more time than you bargain for on a particular rental because you're trying to do the minimum to it because it's just a rental. But then how many times you put it back together? Like the trigger, the cutoff lever is now not working.
Yeah. And that's the customer or the conversation we have to have with the customer every now and then where it's like, hey, dude, you have a $250 gun.
Yeah.
The amount of money, like what you have is fixable. And I tell them this all the time. I'm like, but you're going to go next door to Anthony and you're going to realize the amount of money you're going to spend to fix this, I can sell you a new gun. And it's not anything against you. It's not anything against the gun. I use this phrase a lot with them too. I was like, this is the gun that got you into Airsoft, but it's not the gun that's going to keep you playing. We need to get you something a little bit better.
Right. And that beginner player, like they just need something that's going to work.
They do.
And you know, this particular
and
SCAR,
there are a lot of players that are like that.
This classic Army SCAR, like this is a phone call I had like last week. And I was like, I'm going to guess from this, you're pretty new to it. He's like, yeah, me and my son just got our first gun. It was a good deal on eBay. And I was like, so like, what I'm going to tell you is not going to put any money in my pocket, right? But like, it sounds like you just want to play, you know? So based on how long you think you're going to be playing, that might determine like what kind of base gun you want to get. You know, I think it'll be more worth your time and money to just get a different base gun. And he was like, yeah, I'll see if I can return this to eBay. I think he returned it, got his money back.
Yeah.
So like, good for him. And I was like, you know, try it out. Cheap. There's nothing wrong with a cheap gun as long as it works.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to be playing for like 5 years, like even once a month, I'd say get a nicer base gun. Now, if you're going to be going to like MSW, AMS, you want to do these crazy events, you want a crazy build, and you're like, I want that top tier performance because I'm doing this all the time. This is like my thing. Then I'm like,
that's a different conversation for a different customer.
Exactly.
Even in here, we see it all the time where like maybe they've been playing for a month or 2 months and they're finally like, oh, I want to get a better gun than like the one my friend gave me because he had an extra. Okay, well, the first question is how often do you see yourself playing? If you say once a month, that's good. That's fine. You're a top tier competitor for a Specna or a G&G or even a Lancer. But then when they go, oh no, I want to do this like every weekend. Okay, let's talk about VFCs. Let's talk about some of the higher end guns. Because then if you're going to use it, it's worth buying it. It's the same reason why Dave says he has a real EOTech on his Sistema because he uses it every weekend. You can justify spending $500 on a red dot.
right.
It makes sense. I'm the same way. But if you're only going to be using it once a month, maybe once every other month, do you need that $600 MDR? No. You can do a pretty good job with the $250 Elite Force M4. Like there's a lot of different reasons why people buy those guns. But where you and I butted heads a while ago was over the fact that there are some customers that just want a quick fix. And you guys really don't do that over there. You do the overhaul. Like I love my guys there.
I can do some quick fixes. But I really try to let the customer know because the worst thing is the customer is like, it's a $200 gun. I just want a quick fix.
Yeah.
And then this quick fix, because we're just nice guys and we're going to be like, yeah, that's possible. But that doesn't really align with reality once you
realize it's 3 hours later and it's not quick.
And it's still not working.
Yeah.
And you know that like if you were to really tackle this from your approach, you would change a bunch of parts around, tune it a certain way, and now it won't be a problem. But because you're trying to like concede to the customer's expectations, what ends up happening is you end up donating a bunch of time, and you do that enough times for enough people, you're not paying rent. You know, you're not going to really be a business long. And then if you just hit them with the big bill they weren't expecting, like you get that look, you know, and it's like, I try to have that conversation before that happens. And I've gotten really good at like seeing it coming from a mile away. And I just really try to get to know the customer and what it is they want. And a lot of quick fixes, there's entry-level techs that are starting out that would love to take that and will give a good price to them if they look for them. And there's a bunch of people that can do that. People tend to come to me for the things that they can't find anybody else to do for them. Yes. Whether if it's they're not capable of doing it because they don't have the tools or experience to do it, or they're just not willing to work on it because some techs get really good and go the pre-build route. Yeah. And they do that economy of scale with pre-builds, and they don't want to take a weird niche gun because it'll disrupt what they have going on. Like Rich's MP7. It has a 10-year-old Bingo fusion engine conversion kit.
I left and you were working on it. I came back. You're still working on it.
It's there's no leaks. Rich has an old TM MP7 with a Bingo fusion engine. You can get a Bingo HPA kit for the TM MP7, but it's the jack.
Yeah, this
Right?
is the old school original one that used the Fusion engine, where he was basically taking it apart and resizing all of it to fit in the MP7.
He took the Fusion engine and just like
cut it in half.
put it in a mill and did all this crazy stuff to it. And the Fusion engine is a great engine.
Oh, it's fantastic.
But Rich wants a gas stock on it. So
He also
figuring
wants a gas stock on it, and he only wants it to be like a 4-inch long stock.
Yeah, he wants a gas stock and he wants it to be short. And Rich is like, he understands that it's not going to be a cheap thing. Rich is like,
He's okay with that, but he has unrealistic expectations.
Well,
love you, Richie.
we're at a point now where because I have a lathe and I fixed it up yesterday for the first half of the day. I made custom fittings for it. Because like there's a hole in the bottom and a hole in the back. The hole in the back, they put a plug in it and then milled over it. That's what like Bingo did. So that was like in there. I managed to get it out. 2 different holes, 2 different threads. So I couldn't just like take the line adapter and put it in the back for the gas stock. So, and I couldn't take the old plug and put it in the bottom. Plus I destroyed that plug to get it out. And it was not brass, even though it looked brass. It was like really hard to drill through. It was like some type of carbide. But I was able to do it carefully and preserve the threads, right? I made a custom plug for the bottom, got a good Teflon tape and like a thread sealant that's rated for like, it said 50,000 PSI, but I don't know how you would test that. Got it on like MasterCard.
50,000 PSI.
Yeah, which is, this gun's going to get like 80. So, and then I made a custom fitting on the back. So, you know, the gas stock, the UGS gas stock, the TM spec one, there's the brass fitting with the 2 O-rings. So I made a custom brass piece that this now slides into, and it's perfect. And the brass I used for it was from the Infinity Kit barrel from Dave's Infinity Kit for his like 8,000th, 600th, and 11th Sistema. And so technically, Rich now has a Sistema part in his MP7, which he found hilarious.
Which is HPA'd.
So now doing this involves me taking an already hacked apart Fusion engine, making custom little fittings to hold air pressure, you know, on a lathe. So I was like cutting threads on the lathe and stuff. So like that's timely. And then it got to make a gas stock adapter. So I'm making a complete custom stock for this thing. So I had to reverse engineer the old one, how it fit, and then change the profile so I can put the gas stock on it and then print a bunch of prototypes. Like,
and then charge Rich $1 million.
Like that's a lot of money, you know, and
that's a lot of time. It really depends on how much that time's worth.
Somebody came
I'll give you
to
2
me,
pennies and a fork.
This is the last little story I'll tell, and then I'll stop talking about tech stuff. Some guy came to me with a request. So you know that BNT SMG? It's kind of boxy.
Yeah, I have
the
one.
gas blowback one.
Yeah, I have one sitting on the wall.
Aries makes an electric one now.
It's shit.
Yes, I know that. And this guy knows that too. And he wanted
But he still bought it.
He got it. He was like, I want you to make a custom part for it, particularly the hop up area. If I sent it to you to have it worked on. And he was like, can you make a mold at like 3D print a mold that we can then use as a, to basically cast a new hop up. And I was like, I don't know if that would work. But I was like, I don't know if that would really work.
You would
but
melt the plastic.
One thing that a lot of the makers do in the Airsoft 3D print space is if there's a gun that has a weird or stupid hop up, like every single Aries on the planet, will convert the gun to accept some other type of aftermarket hop up. So I was like, that could be a route that we take. I don't know anything about this thing. Every Aries build I've ever worked on has required so much time and effort to work on. You know, I can only, as far as the estimate you want for the cost, I can only assume the worst. And honestly, I'd rather reject the build than take it and give you a flat quote and then it be too low and stick with it, you know? Because I was like, I got a bunch of builds to do and like I'm running a business, you know what I mean? Like just because I can do it doesn't mean I have to do it for free. This isn't communism, you know? So I gave him the quote. I gave him like a high end and a low end. I said on the highest end, it could be this. Cause like it takes a lot of time to reverse engineer stuff, do it in CAD, get test prints, test fit things, see where the tolerances are off because your printer has tolerances, and then test everything out. And he was like, okay, I'll call you back when I'm ready to do it. Well, he ended up calling, because I'm friends with all the other techs, right? So he goes to another tech, tells him about it, and he hits me up. He's like, you gave him a quote for like $800 labor? And I was like, that was not the conversation. I was like, at the worst end of it, it could be that if he wants me to invent custom parts for it. Like, you know, and I was like, it could be lower than that. But I was like,
Wait, so the guy just made up a number and told the other tech that that's the number you told him?
No,
Pretty much, yeah.
he told him the number that
But the
Anthony told him,
highest end,
but he
right.
didn't tell him the other 95% of the story.
yeah. So
It'd be like me
Telephone.
coming to you saying, "Hey Dave, can you come to my house and fix my bathroom?"
Yeah.
You telling me it's going to be $5,000. Me going to Dan and being like, "He told me it'd be $5,000 to just fix my fucking sink."
Yeah.
yeah. And that's where it kind of sucks to be a business. Like if I was a millionaire and I had all the free time in the world, I would totally do those projects like for free.
Yeah.
You go on Facebook and you join these groups and you see these guys 3D printing and designing crazy stuff.
But they're not doing it for a business. They're doing it out of passion.
They're doing it for themselves.
Right.
And they're not selling it.
Right.
You know? So now as far as you coming to a business to give this to you, because you can't acquire it any other way somehow, because you're not going to convince the guy on Facebook to make this custom thing for you for free because you just asked for it. Some people are that nice, but like, you know, it's just different. You know,
No, I get it.
I'd like to take every cursed build on the market and cure it with custom parts and conversion kits and all this stuff so that there's a route to take for every build that exists. But like,
It's just unrealistic.
you know, how many people are going to buy that Aries BNT thing? And if they do they want to buy it knowing that they now have to buy these other conversion kits just to make the thing work right? It worked out for the featherweight with the feed block because people like the lightweight featherweight. But that's not going to be the case for every build. And, you know, you can put yourself out of business really quick if you're not,
No, I get it.
if you're service based, you don't have residual income. You know, it's all you working. So you got to make deliberate decisions and you got to prioritize your time and you got to focus and not let every distraction disrupt, you know, your plan for the month. Which means I reject a lot of builds. I tell people no. And I try to give them the best advice I can. Some people just don't like the advice because it doesn't align with their reality. And that's not just teching. That could be with anything.
Yeah, not only for that, but the customer experience is I have a broken thing. Let me find the guy that's specifically fixes the broken thing. Go to the guy and the guy says, "No, I don't want to fix your broken thing." Like it's there's like a disconnect because we're so used to having everything all the time, always, right? Our car breaks down, we go to the mechanic says, "Yeah, I can fix it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very rare that you have a product and the guy who is trained to fix it and you know he can fix it, that son of a bitch, and he says no.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what?
And then some people will be like, all right, fine. And they'll just throw more money in your face. Like literally, they'll literally be like, I'll pay you this much right now just to get it started. You can do it right now. And it's like, I've never asked for anything like that in my life,
Yeah.
you know? And it's not because I've never had the funds to throw money at somebody to make them do it now. But it's like if I did that, if you're at the top of my queue and you were waiting, let's say 6 months, it's been that bad before. If you're waiting 6 months for your build and you know that like I could have done your build so you could have got it sooner, but I didn't because some guy aggressively just like threw money in my face and I took it, you know? If your build would eventually get done, you'll still be happy with it, but you'd be like, that's why his lead times were long, you know?
No, it also creates the expectation that it's like New York being communist and you can do anything you want in New York as long as you throw money at it.
Yep.
So it creates this idea that, but if you want yours to be done quicker, just give
Throw
them
a
extra
little
money.
extra more.
So then all these people, suddenly your queue system doesn't mean a fucking thing. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't prioritize anything. So I think that's good that you don't do that.
I have a hidden rush order fee. And this is like only for Zulu 24 patrons. And I need at least a month of advance because like there's procuring parts, there's this stuff. And there's a fee put on top of what the rest of the build's going to be for the
The next delivery is here.
yeah.
Fuck. I got to sign stuff. Can we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right, we'll take a break and then we'll do normie after.
Well, I'll finish this thought really quick.
Yeah. It's
So, so there's like a fee on top of what the rest of the build is going to be. And there's also this understanding that like everything else is going to be more expensive too, because if I have to get all these parts like 3 days shipped over here or 1 day shipped over here for your build,
yeah, you got to pay extra.
you know, if you want an NGRS built and you don't have the NGRS and the one that you want is overseas and you want it done in a month, this physically cannot happen. It's
Well,
just
it can,
not-
but you're paying $100 in shipping from Red Wolf.
maybe, but then how reliable is that going to be if it gets caught up in customs or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, so like
I can tell you though, my MWS got here in 2 days.
And then also everything for the rush orders due up front.
Yeah.
There's no refund if they cancel. I really try to disincentivize people from doing the rush order fee. Like they have to really absolutely want it and they have to be committed to it. Because it's really not fair to the rest of the people in the line. So it very rarely have I ever done that. And the reason why I'm so strict with the no cancellation and everything with the rush order fee is because I had one guy want a rush order.
I remember
and
this.
We ordered everything, the gun, the parts, everything. All the stuff is on its way to me. And then he bought a gun at the flea market and he was like, oh, I actually want to cancel it. And that was the first time that has ever happened to me. Usually people are pretty good at keeping their words,
But I remember this individual. I remember this instance because you were looking at me going, what the fuck do I do? And I was like, just build the gun and sell the gun.
No, I was like, no. So what I did, I was like, well, you paid for the gun. You paid for all the parts. I was like, I can refund the labor because I didn't work on it, but like you're keeping all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's your property now. And then eventually he came back and was like, all right, well, I'll have you work on it. And then I ended up doing a rush order for it anyway. I ended up just wasting a bunch of my time. And like,
you were too nice.
It was like, he tipped me extra though. And like, that was nice, but like kind of, no, not really. And the gun he bought at the flea market sucked anyway. It shot like shit. So
he got it from Dom.
Yeah. Yep.
All of Dom's guns suck.
Yep. So that's why I'm like that with the rush order fees. If you're in my queue, you are very valuable to me. Thank you.
My God.
All right.
So
Want to take a break?
With that, let's take a break and we'll be back after these messages.
After these messages. All right.
All right. Welcome. Oh. Everyone else, we're waiting on Anthony. Just like everyone.
We're in his queue now.
Yeah. Are we valuable to you? Oh, look, and we let Anthony talk. So
we did let Anthony talk for
Yeah,
about 30
fucking give me a break. I'm a good kid.
good one. So player submitted question. Who has it?
I think Anthony has it.
They want our thoughts on historic kits.
Historic kits, as in. Okay, yeah, as in historic kits.
Any historic kit.
Yeah. I think if it's done well, right on. I think.
We did kind of go over this already.
Did we?
Yeah, because remember the whole John Wick kit? And I said if it's historically accurate as opposed to movie inspired.
That wasn't Is It Normie?
I know, but we did talk about historic kits there.
Well, but this is more of like, what do you think about it? Yeah. There was a kid a while ago. I haven't seen him in a while, but he had a World War I.
Was this the kid with the bolt actions?
Yeah, the World War I like doughboy kit.
Yeah.
And that shit was cool as fuck.
Yeah, you have to respect the LARP.
Yeah, I mean, completely ineffective, but really, really neat. Like he took his time on it. He even had like the leg wraps and everything. It was pretty cool.
That's why like Cold War era kits are actually usable-ish because like at least the airsoft guns that exist from that time period don't suck. Like you can make an M16A1 shoot pretty well. You can make an AK-47 shoot pretty well.
Yeah.
You can't really make a Sten shoot pretty fucking well. It sucks. And a lot of those like World War II submachine guns are full auto only. So like also can't use them most of the time here. So like it kind of sucks when you start getting into those World War I, World War II kits. Like the guns are just trash.
They're cool and all. The problem I have with them, it's not necessarily the kits themselves. It's the people. It's like,
oh, there we go.
Oh, boy.
When you get to a point when you're dressing up as someone that's been in World War II, and then now you're eating your lunch off of a slab of wood using a M9 bayonet as a fork, you lost me. I can't handle it.
It could be worse. They could be eating beans on toast.
Got him.
They could be surrendering.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean that.
Okay, so this kind of falls in line.
It goes a little far. Yeah.
Right, with something I said. There are a lot of dudes that do Rust 4 kits.
Oh, those dudes are fucking weird.
Not all of them.
Mitch is fine. The rest of them are fucking weird.
There's a group of people that come here that I like look and go, there's two kinds of people.
You're weird.
Dan's all about this.
Right.
Dan wants all the
Dan's
smoke.
violent
Dan's
today.
got Dan.
Listen to me, and you know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you. If you're gonna argue with me about me putting blue bands on you because it doesn't match, you're okay. Hold on.
I know what he's talking about.
If you're going to argue with me about putting blue bands on you because you want red bands on because it's not accurate enough to the current situation that's happening,
So in that situation, Dan, you have all the authority in the world to just laugh and put blue bands on them because the color blue and the color red here at Zulu 24 have no political fucking connotations. They don't mean anything. It's just because we're playing Airsoft and they're two separate teams. So yeah, that would piss me off too.
So that's not the first time that's happened.
it's okay. Okay.
So this is what I was going to get at. So that group, that's why I say there's two kinds of Rust 4 people that come here. There's the chill kind, like Alex and Joe and a bunch of dudes that I know that go to Milsom West games where they're really cool when they come here and they hang out. You're talking about the Vatniks. You're talking about the green beans.
I don't know who the fuck they are.
They're wearing the digital green camo. Everything's
There's
digital.
9 of them.
There's 9 of them. They put the Rust 4 flag
When they're
off
eating
of
lunch,
the
they don't
Connex,
take their gear off. They're all still wearing everything. Like,
eating Russian MREs and listening to Russian rap music. The first time we encountered them, Evan went to go do that. He went to go put blue bands on them, and they stopped and said, "No, we can't do that. It's a political objection. We can't wear blue."
Yeah, this is private property. You're at a private business, and these are the things that determine the teams, and you're on blue.
Evan looked at them and said, "That's fine. I guess you're not playing this game." And then he told them to go back and sit down if they didn't want to play this game.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa, we just want to be on red team. He's like, "Well, I need 9 players on blue, so you're going on blue."
Yeah.
And then they went and sat down instead of playing.
That's fine.
Those are the ones that you're referring to.
That's insane.
But that's taking it too far.
Sure, for sure. That's insane to me as just an Airsoft player. Like, because you don't want a specific, because your kit, in your tiny little world, your kit requires a certain color armband, so you're not going to play the game. You're paying money to come play a sport, recreation, hobby, whatever you want to call it, and then you're just not going to because of an armband. Like, that's so silly to me.
Yeah.
That's incredible, and they're probably all American.
They are.
Yeah, so it's like, what the fuck, man?
they're from Cleveland.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane
It's
to
taking
me.
it too far.
There's a logical jump that has to happen.
I think it's a lack of IQ.
Historic kits.
Oh, he's fucking damn, Dan.
Historic
Dan's
kits
violent.
get hairy when certain patches and
I was going to
symbols
say
are left on the kit.
insignias, patches, emblems, memorabilia.
Yeah, that's actually a gripe I have too with the World War II community. Why do they always want to be fucking SS?
I don't know. To
Why?
be fair,
I feel like it takes a
there's
certain...
like this historical thing too where they're like, oh, the Wehrmacht was not that bad. They were actually, that's true. In comparison to the SS, they weren't that
Sure.
bad. In comparison to anything else, they were still pretty bad.
Hear me out.
yeah.
Hear me out. The SS were issued guns that they make airsoft replicas of that don't completely suck.
okay.
Just like real life.
Yeah, okay.
Like who really got issued an STG?
yeah, but
Paratroopers, no?
would you put a swastika on your fucking body?
No.
Right? Like, that's the part it's to me, it's insane, dude. There's these,
Yeah.
and it's not like they're showing up to a World War II event. Now, when you show up to a World War II event, there's some leeway because, who you going to fight?
It's what we're doing. It's
Yeah,
like the
that's
point,
like it's like everybody's
Somebody's
kind
got
of on
to
the
play
same.
the bad guy.
Yeah, everybody's kind of on the same page. I mean, if somebody comes with the Nazi party flag with the swastika on it, yeah, that's a no go, right? Or like the swastika on the armband, yeah, that's a fucking no go. But most of the Wehrmacht fucking like belt buckles all have tiny little swastikas on them, right? They're very covert. They're not overt. If you're coming out with an overt, and that's fine, dude. Like, for a World War II event where everybody's on the same page and it's fucking Axis versus Allies, and that's the game that's being played. That's fine. But when you show up to open play wearing a death's head and fucking SS, the lightning bolts, and fucking SWAT, like, what's wrong with you? Like, what is fucking wrong with you? There's something wrong. Like, and people are gonna be like, oh, history. They were the evil villain in every fucking movie
For the next 60 years.
Like, even during the time when like political correctness and all this shit was like super through the roof, you could make a movie where the Nazis were the antagonists, and you could do whatever you wanted to them. You could literally light them on fire, like
Glorious Bastards.
Oh, just anything. You could
scalp
do
them.
anything. Yeah. You could scalp
I want my
them.
scalps.
Like, you could do the most inhumane shit. And even to this day, you see that movie Sisu?
No.
Yeah.
Heard about it.
Holy shit.
Well, just like I referenced the show I started watching, Masters of the Air, they have no problem. Memorabilia, correct uniforms, whole nine. And I'm like, yo, this show came out a month ago.
Yeah, it's because they're killing him, right?
Yeah.
So the point of all that is that the Nazis are the bad guy. They are the bad guys, you know, like
Yeah.
they're the fucking like super evil. So if I'm going to get into World War II games, I'm going to be like, well, I want to be on the Allies for one, because America's fucking amazing, right? Or even you know, Canadian troops, British troops. I mean, even the Russian troops at that time, right? Like we're okay.
Plus, who doesn't love the VAR?
And you know, in order to have a World War II event, you need bad guys, right?
Yeah.
And they're always going to be bad guys. So, but there's like a tasteful way to do it. There's
Correct.
a tasteful way to do it. And when you make your whole life about it, now you're getting you. It's like you're starting to like believe the ideology a little bit, and that's the dangerous fucking part, right? Like that's fucking creepy.
Okay, so what about somebody that has a very accurate Japanese Empire
Ooh.
kit?
Okay,
They
are
arguably did just as bad shit.
I would say
Arguably worse.
I would say probably worse. Like the Japanese were
Nanking wants to talk to you.
The Japanese were super unhinged. They were
The Nazis didn't eat people, did they? I know the Japanese.
Do you know why we know what?
they did at
Do
some
you know
point.
why we know what percentage of the human body is water?
Well, that's because of what all the shit they did in those islands, right?
Well, that's because the Japanese had a human experimentation program where they would literally make you into beef jerky and weigh you.
yeah.
Oh my god, it's terrible.
It's a lot of
It's true.
There's a lot of facts that were founded through these inhumane experiments that are actually precursors to a lot of modern medicine.
So look,
And modern science.
okay, let's not draw any fucking good comparisons between
I'm just saying,
Imperial
like-
Japan and the Nazi Party. But what I'm saying is like, so what is the emblem? What is the logo of Japan during World War II?
Oh, it would be the rising sun.
The rising
flag.
sun, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I was to flash a picture of a swastika and a rising sun, which one do you think everybody's going to remember?
Oh, the swastika.
Swastika.
Yeah. Because Japan didn't have to change their flag after the war.
We also didn't nuke
Yeah.
Germany.
What's that?
We also didn't nuke Germany.
Sure, but
There was a plan to.
But my point is that whereas you are correct, like everybody on the Axis was doing just fucking bad shit, right?
Yeah, like heinous shit.
Yeah, like it was pretty clear cut.
Yep.
Like there was no gray area. There
Russia's-
was a good team and a bad team.
Russia's military that was fighting war, like they were fighting war. Russia was just really bad at home.
Sure,
around
but
this
the
time.
point
Really bad.
we're getting off topic. The point of everything is that when you're doing a historical
Airsoft kits.
airsoft kit, and obviously World War II games can exist without
Somebody's got to be a bad
somebody's
guy.
got to be a bad guy, right? There's a tasteful way to do it. Because I know World War II events in like the UK are huge,
Yeah.
and they allow all the things, right?
All of it.
You'd think over there they wouldn't.
No, but I think it's because everybody on the bad guy team, they're not goose stepping around. You know what I mean? Like they're not like
They're not giving everybody vertical high fives.
yeah. Well, aren't all high fives? Oh,
Yeah.
What about somebody for open play doing the same thing, but hammer and sickle? Right?
It has
there
to
is a look. If they're just like, if it's just like a lapel pin or whatever the fuck, and they're playing the game and they're fine.
No, like same way the SS guy's doing the SS kit, this guy's doing straight up commie kit. Hammer and sickle.
So I did ask some players.
I think like if you'd be up in arms about the SS thing, it's only fair you're also up in arms with the hammer and sickle.
I'm up in arms about that only because the fucking FBI got called on us. So it's because people can't fucking handle it. I did tell a group of guys they had the hammer and sickle flag, like a full flag, and they were running around the field with it while they were playing. And I had to be like, hey man, more people died for that, under that flag, not for that flag, under that flag, because of that flag, than like a lot of other flags. So do me a favor and put it away. And they were like, oh, freedom of speech. And I was like, cool, private property. Like,
Yeah,
get fucked.
like communism's death toll is like such a broad estimate because of how many people actually died under it. Like,
Well,
we
it's
can't
partially
pinpoint
that,
it.
but also like,
Like, we're looking at hundreds of millions.
but what we're also talking about there is like,
6 million was easy for them. They did that by accident. They just killed all the kulaks in Ukraine and created a famine, and then that boom, 6 million.
That's not the point of the conversation.
Yeah.
The point of the conversation is that you can do historical kits. You just have to do them tastefully, and it's like right place, right time
yeah.
type shit.
Well, I was also going
Right.
to say, like, much like you were saying, like you show the Germany 1941 flag versus Japanese 1941 flag. Which one are you going to associate more heinous shit to?
Yeah.
Same thing versus the hammer and sickle. Yes, if you're a student of history, you understand a lot of that. A lot of people just know it from pop culture and movies and video games. They see it as a not so bad option. Like when we're talking about who's the bad guy and who's the baddest of the bad guy. That one still reigns. That one still takes the cake, even though they're arguably on the same playing field there. So there's a lot of people that are into Soviet kits. There's a lot of people that just look at it much like Red Dawn stuff, like somebody's got to play the bad guy. It's not viewed as harshly
No. not
unless
at all.
unless you are truly like a student of history where you can look at it and be like, that was bad. Like that was really fucking bad. That shouldn't have happened. As opposed to, oh, we all know what the SS flag looks like and we all know everything associated to that. It's still taught very, very vividly in school. Like,
Yeah.
there's a difference there. It's just because of how much people are educated on the topic.
That's where I understand like the difference in intention if you're going to a historical event,
Yes.
like a reenactment or that type of LARP game. Because like, again, I can understand that. Because like, okay, there's Civil War reenactments.
Somebody's still got to play the bad guy.
Somebody's
It's
gotta
got to
play
be the
back.
Confederates. You know what I mean? But then the guy that shows up to open play, like he knows what he's doing. You know,
Yeah,
there
but
was
there's also-
one player that came here dressed in a trench coat.
Yep.
Do you have a Tech 9?
Yep.
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 He
Yep.
literally said that was his kit, though.
He said it.
He was.
He
yeah.
said it. Now,
Oh my
He was
God.
like, "This is my Columbine kit."
now this was not an active
Fucking
shooter
kid.
Yeah.
training drill.
Nope.
The dude, like,
No, but that's also one of those. I'm ruling that one out because fuck that. But like with those historical kits, those people also, much like we talked about before, with how often are you going to play? They may only have the chance to play once every 2, 3, 4 months.
Sure.
There's not a World War II game every 2, 3, or 4 months. So when they do play, they only have that World War II kit. We know plenty of people like that. Prime example, like Eric's friends.
Yep.
They only do World War II kits.
I think it's fine. But you just
yeah, but
right
they don't
time.
They don't only have it.
That's true.
Like imagine like you just live your life, you haven't gotten introduced to Airsoft yet, and you discover Airsoft, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go in my closet and grab my handy dandy SS kit. You know, the guy probably had it.
where do you- what do
He
you-
probably had it already?
That's a little different.
What's going through your mind, like opening new web browsers pages, being like, I get the fucking armbands, I get the trench coat, get the helmet. Like, at what point are you like, am I gonna wear this out in public altogether? Like,
What
No.
pawn shop did they have to get the pins at? You know,
Right? Like, yeah, like I said,
they're like, see, there's still a blood stain on this one. Like
oh God. Yeah, like
that's fucked.
World War II event, sure, that's fine. Follow the rules that are a part of that World War II event.
Now there's some
But to open play, dude, like I don't own a German kit. But if I did, I would sanitize the fuck out of it.
it would just be gray.
Yeah, it would. I could probably. Yeah.
like Kevin, he's got.
Well, no. Kevin's is in East Germany. That's a Cold War kit. That's East
yeah, I
Germany,
would've thought it was
1954.
You want to know
Heavily influenced.
a cool historic kit I saw one time?
I was going to say, we haven't even talked about another one that goes with this progression, but go first.
So homie showed up one day wearing Revolutionary War
I did
stuff.
see
I
that.
think he had a wig on too, and he was rocking like this modern tactical Vector.
How did I fucking miss this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
He was
I
like
remember
red
that.
Vector.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait, I think this was when you were away on your.
Oh man, I would
Yeah.
love that.
It was. Oh yeah. No,
Was he British or was he American? Or
Red coat, blue coat?
colonist?
Oh,
no, it was blue coat.
it was.
Was he
yeah, it was
blue?
blue coat.
Good.
No, one thing though that if we're talking about the natural
Holy
progression
shit.
of somebody's still got to play the bad guy, World War II, Cold War, GWAT, somebody's got to play the bad guy.
Yeah, people line up to play that.
Yeah,
Hey, it's a cheap kit. Be
Super fucking cheap.
Battle of Benghazi.
Or
Yeah,
any
dude.
Haji kit ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, they line up for that shit.
Takes
Throw
about
on, like,
$30 to
A
make
shot,
that kit.
a soccer jersey and a Chi-Com, and
That's
it.
a lot. I mean,
Do you know what the thing is though with the Haji kit, right? Like
But at what point does it pass the line of tasteful?
the Haji kit you get, right? The man jams,
ISIS flag.
Oh, I'll tell
Yeah.
you where. I'll tell you where it goes past
the
that
man
point.
jams, sandals, and packle cap. You get it on Amazon, and you realize like modern people still actually just wear this as clothes. Like it's not a symbol of.
That's true.
It's not a
it's
symbol.
not a
of,
costume.
Like, yeah.
No.
It's not a costume.
not a costume.
It's
No,
like-
you have to.
Yeah.
You have to Google Pakistani menswear.
And I will say, man jams are the superior thing to wear if you're walking around in the woods. It does a great job at like you can just get through thorns. Like
Except for ticks, though.
it protects you so
You know what?
good.
The, you know what the best part about
super
those
good.
kits are?
Wear that and some sandals.
You just change the chest rig to a modern day chest rig, and you change the AK to an M4, and you just tell everybody it's a Tora Bora kit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm just Delta undercover.
Yeah.
Where's your horse?
Although, so like I got the wrong color, like packle cap and man jam. So like when I wear all my kit, I just look super Italian. Like I look like
You look like a painter.
if you look at the Benghazi, if you look at the
You had like a
Benghazi,
purple one, right?
no, it's all like it's just like white or like off white, and then my balaclava like it's white with like red on it. Like I just look like I'm making pizzas. Like,
Well, no, the
Folded AK.
so I don't remember the exact history to it, but the white and red one is symbolic of something specifically.
It's the journey to Mecca.
There
I
it
don't
is.
remember which one it was, but like, yeah, you get to wear a certain color.
the white.
Cut.
You only hire Italians.
No, it's going over your head, and I hate it.
That's getting cut.
But yeah,
What's wrong?
ISIS flag.
We'll talk off air.
ISIS flag would be the cutoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I saw at one point somebody had made, you know how the ISIS flag is like the circle,
Yes.
is it the black flag, white circle, something like that.
Yes. It's black flag, white circle, white
Yeah.
writing.
It was like that, but it just wasn't an
It was
ISIS
like a meme
flag.
flag?
And you're like,
I've seen that one too.
Towing
Yeah.
the line. I don't remember where I saw that, but I was like, I wouldn't even.
I've
do
seen it
that,
online.
dude. I wouldn't even do that. I mean, I got cringed out when I saw photos from a Milson West game very early on, and people were driving into the AO with their cars with the Z.
Oh my god.
There was a kid playing here that had
Oh,
a Z
yeah, that
patch.
was like 2020.
Yeah, it was like right when the invasion
Well,
started. I was
The
like,
Z
"Ooh,
patch was
bad
the group that
taste."
we were talking about. Like, they can only wear the red armband. They have the Z patches and the fucking bands on their helmet for the VDV. Like,
Yeah.
I'm versed in Russian kits. I get it. I understand it. There's a tasteful line. You don't need the Z patch. You don't need the red armband. Just fucking play Airsoft, man.
I'm just here to play Airsoft.
That kid was a trip in the staging area. Like during the game brief, he's like getting in debates with people.
Yeah, well, that was the
Just
same.
like, actually, that is misinformation.
I kicked him out of
he
the.
went off to Russia.
I kicked him out of the shop because he was trying to talk politics, and I was like, we don't talk politics with other customers. I was like, you can kindly leave. And he said during that conversation he was going to go over to Russia and fight with the Russians against Ukrainians. So I
Good.
was like, sure, man. Keep in mind this is also the same kid that you built a PKM for, and while PKP. Sorry, got to be correct. I was reffing, and he stitched me up from about 20 feet away with full auto. And I'm not talking like 3 rounds. I'm talking like 25 rounds.
Did you deserve it?
I was reffing. And
He's wearing that red shirt.
yeah, and I walked over and I looked at him and I went, first off, I'm a ref. Second off, you just stitched me up from about 20 feet away. You have a 50-foot minimum engagement distance. And his response was, you looked like a threat to me. And I responded to
Were you wearing red?
I was, yeah, and he was also on red team that day. And I looked at him and I go, okay, sure. I was still only 20 feet away from you. You broke your minimum engagement distance. And he goes, how am I supposed to know what 50 feet looks like? And I go, having
that
a
gun.
having
Can
a
I
support
take your
weapon.
gun and
bud.
smash it?
Well, I looked at him and I went, having a support weapon on the field is a privilege, not a right. Seeing as you can't comprehend your minimum engagement distances, I have to ask you to step off the field.
So I should have found a way to semi-lock his LMG.
Yeah, you should have.
Really funny.
Oh God. Yeah, you got to be a little bit smarter than the average bear. You know, I mean, that's the same with LMGs, with
Red tag guns.
red tag guns,
Even
You gotta
blue
be-
tag guns.
You got to be smarter than the average bear. Yeah, yeah.
Like-
anything above a green tag, you got to be smart. You can't.
The last weekend we were open before the renovation started, I watched a dude with a red tag smoke someone from 15 feet away.
Hell yeah.
And I literally walked over, like took a knee next to him. I was like, do you know why I'm standing here? And he goes, I am so sorry. It was just a knee jerk reaction. I was like, and I looked at him, I went, that's okay. I'm glad you understand why I came over here. I was like, but we can't do that again. If that happens again, I have to tell you to switch guns and you need to not use a red tag gun. And this is to circle back to a previous conversation why I think semi-auto red tags are stupid, because it was a DMR M4. It was a block 2 length M4 that was semi-locked in a red tag. And I chronoed it that morning and shot 485. And I'm looking going, when you have this pattern of rifle, it's too easy to make mistakes when it's a red tag. It should have been a blue.
Yeah.
And it didn't shoot that much better. My Kythera shot better than his gun.
When I build those, I'll always like semi-lock it with whatever programming, and then I'll put like the delay between shots.
It shouldn't even, that's airsoft gun control. Yeah. No, it should just be.
You of all people.
Yeah, no, it's just, God, you need to be smarter than the average bear with these. And I explained that to him and he understood, but it's just like, oh, like your red tags and your LMGs, it's a privilege, not a right. Don't break your fucking meds.
Airsoft gun control isn't real. It can't hurt you.
Yeah.
Airsoft gun control.
Anthony, you know what time it is? Is it normie? That was a good one. That was impromptu. From the hip. What do we got today, Jordan?
I'm fired up about this one. I'm going to read it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Because, this is every single Is It Normie, I've been like, yeah, it's very normie right off the bat.
This one you're not in.
Complete opposite. Is it normie to mount an optic on a removable carry handle?
Yes.
No.
No, not normie.
No. Because VFC won't make an M16A2 AEG.
I just think removable carry handles are normie. I don't know.
Wait, you think that removable ones are normie?
Yeah. If it's not like a car 15.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Not every, excuse me, not every good airsoft manufacturer makes an A2 upper. So I can't have a VFC car 15.
That's unfortunate that you have to buy the
just
tech.
Dove headfirst
I'm talking
into the
AEGs.
gray area.
Yeah, that is the gray area. And that's why I'm saying, no, it's not normie, because even my GHK, they don't make an A2 upper. So I have to use the removable carry handle to get that car 15.
So the question is it normie to mount an optic on a carry handle that is removable?
Correct.
No, it is not.
What's the question?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
he's
So,
saying.
okay, so you're saying no, it's not normie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like
So-
M16A3 or A4 carry handle that can come off.
The logic is if you can remove the carry handle, you just mount the optic directly to the Picatinny.
Correct.
Okay.
That's stupid.
So I have mixed feelings, just like everything. There's so much nuance, right? It depends on your build, what you're going for. For instance, I have another system of PTW hanging up in my shed, and I'm keeping it there because I want to make a blood diamond rifle.
This is Dave's 8,764 system.
I knew you're going to sit to it as soon as I start talking about it. It's specifically there because I want to make a blood diamond rifle, which means that it needs carry handle and an optic on top. Now, there just aren't any
Correct.
PTW. There's none left. They're gone. They're
The only way to do it is to manufacture it yourself or buy a WE gas blowback M16A2 upper and mill it out for a Sistema cylinder.
not doing that. So in that instance, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no across the board
You're going for a retro vibe.
for that particular gun.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not going for a particular gun and you're just mounting it on the
Yeah, but what if you like it?
So the only reason why I would say you would like it is this belief that, you need more height over
The
bore
3-inch height over bore.
so that you can get behind the gun under NVGs, which is completely false. I can get dude, my EOTech is mounted right on the Picatinny with no risers, and I can get behind it with NVGs, and all you have to do is go one click out on your stock and you're freaking good, right? So there might be an argument there where like,
Yeah, but that's getting into the weeds of the tactics.
sure, yeah.
Is it a vibe? Yes.
I think this one's hard because it's not normie.
Anthony's about to have a fucking aneurysm.
we're gonna keep talking. We're not gonna let him talk because I want to hear Dan's opinion on this
Dan,
one.
go on. Get your
I hate
bag.
carry handles. I think they're dumb. I think they're stupid.
But they help you carry the gun. You think carry handles are dumb?
Do they help you carry the gun? Name
help
one
some people.
person that's ever fucking carried it.
In boot
All
camp,
right. To be fair, people will carry airsoft guns with carry handles. That's one.
I was going
thing,
to say,
but
I'll pull up every photo of
That's
troops
fine,
walking
that's
around
fine,
in
that's-
Vietnam.
so in boot camp we actually got yelled at.
for not doing that or
No,
for doing
for
it?
doing it. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Same thing on the saw.
Now, let me ask you this.
Was
Were
it gonna
they
get dirt in your
attachable
side?
ones or were they already?
Oh, no, baby. These were fucking A2s.
Oh, vibes.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to know if that means if they're attachable or not.
They were non-removable.
No.
Oh,
They
so then
were
why do
built-
you yell that? It's not going anywywhere anyway.
Because it's boot camp and it's just. the
Yeah,
way
I
it
guess
is.
that makes sense.
If
Same
you
thing with
carried
the
it-
Dog and pony.
If you had
show.
carried it the other way, they would have yelled at you for not carrying it by the carry handle.
Yeah, there was no winning.
Jesus Christ. bro.
I was holding that for so long.
Same thing with the saw, right? So there's a handle on the saw on the barrel, and you get yelled at for carrying the saw like that. But that one's a little bit more like that handle is there to change the barrel. It's not really meant to carry it. But we all carried it, and it fucking didn't matter. So you don't like carry handles at all?
I think they're stupid.
Yeah,
Well,
you got to talk to them like
sorry. The problem I have, every person that I've seen put a carry handle on a gun has always been the person that you expect to put a carry handle on the gun.
Yeah.
Anthony has a VFC with a carry handle.
Oh, is it that fucking ugly ass fucking tiny little M4 you got in there? With that like NC Star optic on top?
So anyway, Jordan, how do you feel about carry handles?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I understand that certain companies don't make A2 uppers.
Yeah, I'm in that boat too. I feel like it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any strong feelings either way, to be honest with you. Like, play the game however you want to play it.
I understand that it's a vibe. I understand that now it's becoming retro to do Car 15 builds. Thank you, administrative results.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I did it to a GHK. I got the Car 15 handguards, but they don't make an A2 upper, much like the Sistema.
Yeah.
So it's like, gotta use an A3 upper, gotta use an A3 carry handle.
Would you get more points if you took all the mounting gear off and then like welded it onto the fucking?
I fucking looked at doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a point in time where we looked at what if we just like sanded it flat and then sanded the top rail flat and fucking welded it in place? Like, would it work?
Oh, that Chinesium
It'd be-
aluminum. Oh man, you need a master welder.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of work. Like just for a gun that I used for a month and then changed it to a different setup because that's how autistic I am. Yeah. Yeah. To be fair though, even though he's still not breathing,
It's fine.
he's stuck with that autistic build. Like he has had that carry handle upper build for a while.
Because no
now.
one wants it.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. Are you okay, sweetie?
Eugene Stoner did it right the first time. Okay? He did it right the first time. We don't need forward assists, okay? And
True.
All right. So this is what we're left with, okay? We're just a bunch of broken children, okay? The carry handle was not meant to be a carry handle. The first iterations of the Car 15's charging handle was not in the back. It was in the carry handle. It was an area where you can go and actually hit it. It was really a guard to protect the charging handle from getting pulled
Next,
back.
you're going to tell me the AR-18 was the natural progression.
And then do you know what Eugene Stoner did when they fixed the charging handle? They kept the carry handle the way that it was. Why? I mean, I guess it was a selling point because that's how you convince the army to adopt shit is by saying, hey, look, there's a bottle opener built into it or whatever, you know? So that's what's on there. Now, all right, optics started to become a thing. They just mounted directly on top of the carry handle. And guess what? It looked fucking dope. Okay. And then do you know what they did? You know, they fucking thought that, oh, we want to get the optic really close. And then they just chopped off the carry handle. And that's why we have removable carry handles. I think removable carry handles are stupid because they shouldn't have to be removable. They should just be on the gun. Okay.
This was my point to begin with.
People watching this, right? Do you have a Unity mount? Okay. The height over bore is perfect. We've just reverted back to what Eugene Stoner envisioned from the get-go.
No, but
okay. So now with our removable carry handle,
this is why he likes the FAMAS.
it's like we woke up in a bathtub full of ice and our kidney was stolen. And now we're just trying to live our life. And they're just like, you got a big scar on the side of your body. And you're just like, God damn it. They stole my kidney. Leave me in my fucking removable carry handle alone, okay? It's bad enough as it is. Just let us be, all right? Eugene Stoner did it right. You have a plethora of mounting options just on the carry handle alone, whether it's an optic or even a place to mount your pec. It was all thought of already, okay? Everything else doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Then how do you do a red dot with a magnifier on a carry handle?
Get fucked.
You can still do that on a carry handle. You put the rail on top of it and you can fit them both on there.
Yo, that's fucking hideous. No.
So
Guess what?
Listen, the Hydra
You're
mount.
playing too much Insurgency Sandstorm.
Yeah, the Hydra mount is such a specific piece of gear for a specific group of people for a specific job. The further you deviate away from the bore axis, right, the more variability there is when you're shooting at actual fucking combat ranges, right? All of those those things, the reason why you're citing and why a carry handle is good is for a very specific close range engagement where
You need them to see how cool you look before you end them.
No. The reason why that god awful tumor of metal called the carrying handle was lopped off righteously was for fucking the natural Darwinian progression of things getting better, and the Picatinny rail to lower the sight line to the bore line so that you could effectively engage targets out to a longer range and keep your zero for a longer spectrum in the ballistics. All right. As soon as you increase height over bore, dude, you're accurate for one range, maybe two, and that's it.
They thought about that already.
No, they didn't.
Dovetail mount.
No.
This is why I don't shoot BBs.
The dovetail mount. It mounts to the carry handle, sloops over your handguard, and you can actually pretty much co-witness.
You know what you could also do? Fucking remove that cancerous
That's
being.
called a gooseneck.
You could remove that cancerous being and just put it down on the Picatinny rail like a fucking modern man.
The way I enjoy airsoft is better than the
fires?
way that you enjoy airsoft.
Do you start fires by rubbing two sticks together still?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Because you've progressed.
No, I chant to the sky until lightning strikes my pile of wood. Okay? It's the way it was meant to be.
In the raid.
Yeah,
Like
in the
a
rain.
man.
If you still start fires that way, you might as well be using the
What's a
musket.
wheel?
And while I'm chanting, I'm holding my M4 with the carry handle on it.
Oh my God. Oh, that's such a t-shirt.
It is not normie.
Oh my God.
It is not. Do you know what it is?
I'll make that shirt.
That's great.
I'll say this in the context of airsoft. It
It's going
used
to
to
be
be
a Tuscan Raider
normie.
holding a Car 15.
It used to be normie back in like early 2000, 2010. Because like every M4 that came out was the basic package. So when you wanted something different, like, oh, free float rail, oh, flat top rail, right? But now it's hard to get guns with fixed carry handles and carry handles that are actually like good, you know? You tell me a VFC you can get with even a removable carry handle now.
The Sopmod M4.
They don't come
No,
with
that
the carry
comes
handle.
with the chopped carry handle. That comes with just the rear side of it.
Not even. They just have a little folding like CAC rear sight.
Yeah.
See?
G&Ps.
Yeah, but like they're always discontinued anyway. The ones with fixed carry handles. If you can get a fixed carry handle, get a fixed carry handle. They're very based.
I'm gonna say not normie just because
If you have your kidney scar, just live your life, King. All right, don't let them put you down.
yeah, like I think it's all right, dude. If you're going for a specific build, that's fine. I actually don't know what would make that normie. Like I don't know. Like
What
Well,
would make
every
it
normie back in the
is-
day
Yeah.
had that. Now you're not a normie. You evolve to the point where you're like, I actually just want a fixed carry handle.
No, what
gone
would make
full
it
circle.
normie is if you put the Call of Duty 4 red dot on there.
oh, the one that like sticks out
The
like in front.
the just like reflex sight where it's flat and then it has a piece of glass in the front.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the one I put on my pellet gun when I was 14.
Yeah.
With a smiley face reticle?
yeah, right. Like the
Yeah, see?
biohazard symbol.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
It's everyone's first red dot.
Yeah. You
Because
put
it was $12 at
was my
Walmart.
first
Like,
red dot.
Walther makes it. It should be good. Oh fuck.
You want to wrap this up?
Yeah, I'll call him back. He just wants my money anyway.
That's Airsoft.
All right. So my vote, no, it's not normie. I like to give Anthony a hard time, and his forehead vein was coming out. So
He didn't breathe for like 4 minutes.
you should try that again. Anthony.
Pretty impressive.
But go for an hour.
Yeah. But with that, good night. God bless.
Buy my hoodie.
Oh, that's right. Go buy a hoodie. I got to buy a hoodie right
You
now.
know what else you have to do when you're going to buy that hoodie? You have to go over to the Grimnir Tactical website and bully them.
Oh yeah, Bully Grimnir. With that, good night. God bless. We're out.